Hey there, friends. Okay, so we're totally going to try this again. I apologize about that. I don't think many people were on. If you are, so sorry. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Amanda Garten. I'm a senior gold ambassador, and I'm a sideline to your upline Taryn. And I am super, super honored that she invited me to jump on here to share a bit with you guys. And yeah, I'm really excited. So I am super yellow. Some of you may know that or may have heard from me before, but I'm super, super yellow personality, like this bright yellow as it possibly gets, way higher than any other color personality. So that's one thing that Taryn wanted me to kind of talk about, jump on here, talk to you guys about being a yellow personality, finding your motivation as a yellow, and finding your power as a yellow. And then I want to touch a little bit on maybe for those of you that have possibly stepped away from this business and are trying to find your motivation and trying to find your groove, getting back into it. Okay, so I just said finding your power as a yellow, right? Power is typically not something that we think of whenever you think of a yellow personality. Like whenever you think of power, we typically think of our reds, right? Or maybe even our blues and our greens. Those are your colors. Your blues and your reds are going to be out there more. They're more front and center. Those are the ones that you typically think of being in sales or marketing or network marketing, the life of the party type people, always front and center. Yellow personalities, we tend to be more reserved. I wrote down a few traits that yellow personalities have. It says we love to help others. We put our own needs last. We always put others first. We typically take on more than expected, and that's because we have a really hard time saying no. We are chronic yes sayers, which is not always a good thing. We don't like being the center of attention. We're typically behind the scenes, and we are kind, soft, and quiet. Now, although all of those may sound like really great qualities, and I happen to think that they are not always known for being those qualities that a strong, successful network marketer, for instance, has, or strong, successful businesswoman. But I want to talk to you guys a little bit about those qualities, why they're so important, how you can find your power in them, and why those actually make you the best person to be in this business that we have. Specifically because we're in the business of helping others, and we're in the business of health and wellness. I can honestly say that I love network marketing as a business model, but because of my personality, I don't know that I could really be in network marketing for any other product than the product that we're offering. And that is because our product has the ability to really, really change people's lives. I've seen what it's done for my own personal health, the people that living in my household, other family members, and that is why I truly get behind these products. Okay, so we typically put our own needs last. You guys, it makes it really easy to step away from this business as a yellow sometimes for this reason particularly. And it just is what it is. We put everyone else's needs before ours. We get our plate overflowing of things that we're doing right because we have trouble saying no. We're chronic yes sayers. And a lot of times our life just gets too full. And a lot of times we view this business as something that's ours, and we tend to put our things and our personal goals, personal accomplishments on the back burner to everything else that's going on in our lives, whether it's our husbands, our kids, our parents, our siblings, our day job, our relationship, our church, our mom group, our close friends, whatever it is. We tend to put everyone else in front of the things that are ours, and a lot of times when we view this business that way, we feel like that's selfish, and we feel like that's the thing that we have to put last. And it really can hinder you in your business when your plate gets overflowed and full. It can be where possibly you've stepped away from your business for a little bit, and I think that's just a little more typical of our color personality than other color personalities, especially if you do not have a solid why and you don't have that solid motivation. First, I want to say, if that's you, give yourself a little bit of grace, and we're going to talk a little bit later in this video about making a comeback. So there is power in being a yellow. So we talked about that this is the business for you, hands down, 100%. This is a business that you can do and you can feel good about. we have awesome, wholesome products. Our ingredients are absolutely amazing that are helping so many people. As Yellows, we love to help others. A lot of Yellow personalities are teachers, nurses, physical therapists, counselors. We're in those specific occupations that help others. And this is just another avenue that you can do that. I'll be very honest, if I did not share what I had to offer with the people in my life, I would feel extremely guilty. I would feel like I had the biggest blessing, the biggest secret, the biggest, most awesome thing here, and I was hoarding it up and holding it to myself if I did not share that with the people around me. I really honestly feel that way. I owe it to them. I owe it to the people that I care about to tell them about what I have. But we worry as Yellows. We worry a lot about what other people think, okay? We worry getting into this business that our friends are going to be mean to us, that they are going to say like, oh my gosh, what did she get herself into? Oh, here goes another person selling something. Lord forbid they send us an ugly message. Just like all these horrible things that go through our minds as Yellows that could possibly happen. Somebody might be mean to us because of what we're doing, because they might not understand it. Stop right there. First of all, I've had all of those thoughts and I've had all of those feelings, but I'm telling you, I've been in this business for 3 years. 3 years I have been in this business. Nobody's ever sent me an ugly message. Nobody's ever avoided me. I've had some avoid, what is it? Plexus Witness Protection Program and messages. That happens to all of us. But I've never like walked into a room and people do this number and not want to talk to me, right? All these irrational fears where somebody's going to say, that's a Plexus girl, get her out of here. Like whatever it is that's in your head that's like the worst possible scenario that's going to happen because you're working this business. Guess what? None of those things have ever happened. And you want to know why? It's because people that know me, know through my demeanor, they know through the way that I am, and they know through my personality that I truly do care about others. And I'm doing this because I care about others. They know that that's my motivation. Even if they don't get it, even if they don't care for our products, they don't want to know about our products, they typically don't question my motive. They don't question why I'm doing it. And I share my motive all the time. I do what I do because I love helping others, and I love what our products are capable of for doing for people's health. Also, people trust us because of that, because we are not typically those driven, goal-oriented, go-getter type of people. Whenever we speak, whenever we have something to say, whenever we have something that we are passionate about as Yellows, and there's a lot of passion in us as Yellows, people listen. They tend to listen a lot more because it's rare that we do that. We are not typically fly by night. We're not typically just like, we don't typically lie. Like, we're not that other personality colors lie, but you guys know what I mean. When we are passionate about something, we speak up on something, people tend to take note and they tend to listen because we are trustworthy people, because we are kind, because we are caring. And I want you guys to really think about that if you're a Yellow personality, and I want you to find your power in that, because there's a whole lot of power in being able to help others, having that heart for others, and the fact that makes you a really trustworthy person in this business. It's not something that I take lightly. It's not something that I take advantage of, but it's definitely something that I've had to realize about myself. It's a quality that I didn't realize that I had, and it's something that I want you guys to really think about. Think about the people that you have interacted with in this business, and you'll realize that you do have that trust, and through that customer care and through that concern with them for them, and really letting that stand out, you're really going to have a lot of success in this business. You guys, it took me forever to find my why. I think that's also super important as a Yellow. You have to find your why. When I first started this, I didn't know what my why was. My why wasn't money. I'm not money driven. I'm not success driven. I'm not goal oriented. Typically, I am a lot more now, but I'll get into that. I just didn't have all of that. And so here I was doing this thing, and I knew I was excited about it. I knew I was excited about what we had, and I knew I wanted to share it with other people. And I was driven, but I didn't quite know why. And I can tell you that when I finally nailed down my why, I got it solid, written down where I can read it, and I knew what that was. That's when I really had a shift in mindset in this business and began to be able to set some goals. You guys, my why is my husband. I'll share that with you. He works absolutely crazy, insane hours. When he's not at work, his work is on his phone. He's still here. We have restaurants that are open from, well, managers get there at 8 a.m. in the morning, and they're there until we close at midnight. So they're usually there till about 1 o'clock in the morning, 7 days a week. When those hours between 8 a.m. and 1 o'clock in the morning are, like, during those hours, my husband is on call, and he is always available, and he has to be, because that's just a part of his job. He does an amazing job of providing for us as a family, but there's a cost that comes with that. And I want nothing more than to get my husband out of that bondage that he is in through his job. That's all I'm going to say about that, because I will get emotional whenever I talk about my why. But that's my why. My why is him. My why is getting him out from under that bondage, getting him to a place that he does not feel like he has to work the way that he works just to be able to provide for our family, being able to take some of that financial burden off of him, which is totally possible through this business. If you guys are not following some of our uplines, it's totally possible. And for our kids, so that our kids have their dad here more so than not. I think as Yellows, it's really important that we find a why that isn't always about ourselves, that isn't always selfish, or that we don't perceive as selfish. Because I think that that's for me personally, as a Yellow, my biggest thing is I never, ever, ever want to come off selfish, and I never want to be selfish. And anything that somebody else can perceive as selfish makes me feel guilty. And first of all, I don't want you to feel guilty for taking care of yourself. It's super, super important to take care of yourself. It's super important whether you're a college student, you're a mom, you're a wife, whatever it is, whatever stage of life that you are in, you cannot properly pour into the people around you if you are not taking care of yourself. This business, this is one of the ways that I take care of myself. They say that network marketing is self-growth with a comp plan attached to it, and you guys, I firmly believe that. You only go as far in this business as you are capable of going as far as your self-growth is concerned. And I think that that's something that's super important. I didn't realize how important that was for a long time, because again, I used to think about it wrong. I used to have the wrong mindset that was selfish because I was taking care of myself. But when I started doing it and I started pouring into my self-growth, my self-development, my development as a leader, my own personal health, and I realized how much more of me was available to pour back into the people in my lives, which is ultimately what I want to be doing. It really made me realize how important that is. And you guys, this business is a part of that. So finding your why, finding your motivation. I want to talk a little bit about PV boards. Okay, so I love new teammates. I love to add new people into this business. When people trust me enough to join my team, I absolutely love that. But I absolutely 100% love my customers. My heart really goes into my customers. And if you guys would have told me like 3 years ago or even 2 years ago that I was going to be making PV leaderboards, I honestly totally would have laughed in your face. I didn't think I was one of those girls, and it honestly wasn't a concern to me. I know that probably sounds horrible, but it really just wasn't a concern to me. When I began to grow my business, when I began to get better with my customer care, when I stopped being scared of follow-up, and really started taking care of my customers better, my business began to grow, my personal business, and with that, my PV began to rise. And you guys, when I realized the correlation between the two, that having a high PV every single month, that means that people, my friends, my family, are consistently trusting me with their health and wellness needs, it really meant a lot to me. being on those leaderboards, being on those PV leaderboards, being on a company leaderboard out of 600,000 ambassadors for most preferred customers, you guys, that is directly symbolic of the fact that people are trusting me with their health and wellness needs. And that trust that they have in me means more than the money, means more than the comp plan, means more than the paycheck, and means more than being on the board. But the board is simply symbolic of that. And the first couple of times I started making those PV boards is really when I started realizing that, and when I started setting those type of goals. And really, that's a mindset thing. And that's something that I want you to think about. I don't want you to think about your success in this business as you. I don't want you to think about it as you being selfish, even though it's totally okay to be. I want you to think about it in perspective of other people. Every time I make a PV Leaders Board, every single month that happens, that means that I worked my tail off to help as many people as I could possibly help. And that means that all of those people are trusting me with their health and wellness needs. And that's just a really awesome thing to me. In results, are my paychecks going up? Yes. Is my team growing? Absolutely. Am I getting closer to my next rank? Absolutely. Am I getting closer to that huge, wide, big, scary goal of getting my husband out from under this bondage of his job? Absolutely. But for me, it starts with customer care. It starts with those small goals, setting those small attainable goals. I love Consistency Club for this reason. And you guys, there's a lot of things out there. There's a lot of incentives. I really love there's always prizes in the team pages and all of this. I'm not real big on prizes. I'll be real honest with you about that. I'm just not real big on gifts. Is not my love language. Words of affirmation is. And so for a long time, those things didn't really motivate me. But Consistency Club is something that I love. And so I want to challenge you and encourage you to find one thing, one monthly goal that you can reach. And I love Consistency Club for that reason. Even if it's Club 300 is a really awesome goal for you to work towards and track each and every month. My personal goal is Consistency Club 500 each month. It was 700, which I still would love to get each month. But I'll be honest, you guys know that we can earn prizes at the end of the year at convention for having Club 500 or Club 700, Club 300, whatever it is, 8 out of 11 months. And so where I'm at right now, I no longer have the opportunity to earn those Club 700 prizes. And so I'm really focusing each month on getting those 500 club prizes at the end of the year. So getting that Club 500 8 out of 11 months. And that is just what has worked for me. So finding that one thing, finding that one little goal, and not being overwhelmed by Taryn is giving this prize, and Emily is giving this prize, and Yvonne is giving this prize, and I'm working towards earning a planner right now, but I also want to get Consistency Club. Like, for me personally, that's way too much. A blue, a red, like reds are probably going to be totally like on board with all that, trying to win all that stuff. Blues, that's going to be totally fun for them because like all this cool stuff that they get to get, right? For me as a yellow, it can be really overwhelming, and there has been times in my business that I let that be overwhelming, and I thought, well, I'm not going to be able to do all that, so then I don't do any of it. And you guys can't think that way. Find one thing that works for you, and maybe that it's not any of that. Maybe your one goal is getting one new customer each month. It's okay to start small. It's okay to not have the goals as your sidelines and not be on the same not at the same speed as them. That's okay. But I want to encourage you to set some kind of goal each month and work towards that. And once you start setting those easily attainable goals and you start reaching them, start bumping that up. Don't get stagnant. Work towards getting better. Go from one customer, do that a couple months in a row, to 2 customers a month. Wherever it is that is comfortable for you, set those small goals and work towards them. I think that that's really important too. So I want to talk a little bit about, say that you've stepped away from your business, say that you've let life get in the way, and you guys, it happens. We all have stuff that happens in our life, and sometimes that can cause us to step away from our business for whatever reason. If this is something that's still on your heart, First and foremost, I'll say that I'm a super religious person. So I believe that if God's implanted a dream or goal in your heart, it's there for a reason. And you need to listen to that calling. You need to listen to that little voice inside of you that is telling you that you want this. Because I don't believe that it is selfish, and I don't believe it was placed there by accident. The earning capabilities alone in this company, you guys, the possibilities are crazy. The amount of people that we can help. You guys, I listened to Celeste Quinn last week in an opportunity event talk about drilling wells in Africa for villages that have no running water, and she's providing water for those people because of her Plexus income. Whether it is being able to take some of those little tags off of the Christmas tree at church and buy a couple of Christmas gifts for children in need, or packing an Operation Christmas Child shoebox to send to another company, being able to buy some extra canned food goods at Thanksgiving and donate that to your local food bank, whatever it is, you guys, the ability for us to give back because of the extra income that we can earn through this, and maybe it's not even that. Maybe it's providing for your family in a way, giving your kids things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. I'm taking my daughter to dance this afternoon. Dance is one of the things that our Plexus income provides us with. Flag football, piano for my son. Those are things that my Plexus income provides for my children. There's so many ways that we can give back and pour back into others because of this Plexus income. And, for me, that's one of the, minus my husband, that's one of just the driving forces of me doing this every single month. So if there's something inside of you that says that you want this, I want to encourage you to tap into it, go with it, and run with it. But there's a scary thing of like, okay, well, I didn't talk about Plexus for this long. What are my friends going to think if now I'm talking about it again? Because as yellows, we're always worried about what are other people going to think. Or I feel like I am anyways. Here's the thing. I honestly feel like honesty is the best policy. Be honest with your audience. Be honest about what you've gone through. Be honest about what has made you take a step back from your business. Be honest about what's driving you to get back into it. Honesty is always the best policy. If you jump back in and you pretend like you weren't gone for 6 months or 2 months or 5 weeks or whatever your timeline is that you have been gone, if you jump back in and you act like that didn't happen, there's a little bit of insincerity that comes with that. And people are kind of wondering like, okay, oh, she's back. Oh, she's doing this again. Did she say anything about it? Like, okay. There's a little bit of insincerity that goes with that, and that because you haven't been being consistent. So even if you've been consistent with your products, but you haven't been consistent with posting on Facebook, share that with your audience. I firmly believe that honesty is always the best policy. You guys, people want to know your story way more than they want to know any facts about what it is that you're selling. I can tell you, fact people are going to look that stuff up on their own and figure that out. They don't need you to tell them the facts. Like, you can throw some little tidbits out there, but that's not what's going to sell this. People believe, or people, what's the saying? They care more about why you're doing it versus what you're doing, okay? So share your journey. Share that piece of your journey. If you've stepped away, share that with people if you can, for whatever reason. Share pieces of your life with them of why you've stepped away, why you've made the decision to come back. Don't be embarrassed by that. Don't be worried about that. Don't care what other people think, quite frankly, because the people who know you, the other people in your life, the people who bring value to your life in any way, they're going to know your heart, and they're going to see the sincerity in what it is that you're saying, and they're going to be right on board with supporting your business again and be meeting you where you're at. If you have somebody in your life, and I don't mean in your life, on your Facebook, that is negative to you and ugly to you about any of those things, I can tell you those people are probably not bringing value to your life, and they're probably not people that you want in your inner circle. And that's what the delete button is for. The unfriend button, the unfollow button, because anybody who knows you personally, knows you well enough to know your heart, or cares to know you well enough to know your heart, they're not going to be ugly to you, and they're not going to talk to you crazy, and they're not going to jump on your posts and be all nutso. So bless and release. You don't need those people in your lives. You don't need that negativity in your life, and do not be scared to hit that unfriend button. But like I said, that doesn't really happen to us very often. I mean, I think it does, maybe somewhere. I don't know. Maybe I've just been lucky. So finding your power as a yellow, there's so much power in that. Figuring out your why, the possibilities, what are the goals, like not what are the goals that you've set in this business, but why are those goals important to you? What does that specific rank mean to you in your life, and what you can do for other people, or what is it going to do for your family and your life? Figuring out that why, making sure that it is strong enough to keep you going through the hard times. And remember, working this business is not selfish. There are so many things that this can provide to other people, even if it just starts with you getting that personal fulfillment and that personal self-care and focusing, hello ma'am, focusing on your, come here, I have one up from Nat just in time, focusing on your health and being able to pour, being able to pour into your littles, into your kiddos, your family, your church, whatever it is, whoever it is that you need to pour back into. Say hi. Hi. And really knowing that reaching those goals, those big scary goals, are a direct reflection of the amount of people that you are helping through this business. Thank you guys so much for jumping on and taking the time to listen. If you have any specific questions for me, I would be happy to answer them. Just drop them in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later. Thank you.